Today is today is November 22nd, 2024. It's a Friday. I just got back from uh, I just got back from I just got back from West Side Drive-In. Did some prep work. Made the world famous fingers today. Only did about 3 hours. Um, my intention is to clearly establish a strength towards day trading, meaning the mind and the body uh, has to have better opportunity to to uh, to to give the best shot at being at becoming successful as a day trader. So today is a Friday, the last trading day of the week, except for if I wanted to trade Bitcoin, it can be traded 7 days a week. Uh, I sent a text message to a trading buddy of mine today, and I made an observation about myself, which I haven't done in a while. Um, what I need to do is reflect upon it more so. But in the past, when I initially started day trading, reflection at myself was useless. Purely the fact that I wasn't able to see myself in the past. But now I see, based on the knowledge that I've acquired, knowledge and experience that I've acquired, I can see some subtle things. And so I made three observations. So I sent him a text message. I said to him, three things caused me to waste 2 years of my prop challenges, essentially. So currently, I think it's sitting at about, I spent roughly about $16,000 in prop firm challenges in the past 2 years. And every one of them failed. And the primary reason, the primary reason, there's three reasons why. Okay, three reasons. One of the highest one is essentially getting on tilt, essentially. So what I do is because uh, I lacked the edge. Okay, I lacked the edge. What that happens is I often lose, and when I lose often, I lose big, and when I lose big, I get on tilt. It's a human nature. It is, and I'm more prone to that because I have less self control than other people. For instance, I told myself, look, uh, I'm making less money washing dishes now because I've limited my hours so that I can focus more on day trading, which is my future. So I said to myself, look, I'm going to hold off on paying this expensive buffet until I get a payout. But today, because I am weak, I went to the buffet and ate 4 plates. Okay. Good thing it's a healthy buffet. So that's the part of it. It is my nature, and I'm more prone to the fact of not being able to control myself. And that's what happens. It's the reality. It's like I have a pocket that seems to have a hole in it. Some people, they can go like, I mean, for a very long time, and that's them. And uh and that's not me. So I'm trying to change myself because that's what I have to be. I have to be I have to be disciplined. I have to know myself. I have to control my tilt. And I said to a trading buddy of mine, I said, look, I think I finally tamed the tilt. Tamed the tilt. It's 250 prop firm challenges, and it's the tilt that causes me. Essentially, what I have is that there's a 5% daily loss and there's a 10% max loss, essentially on practically across the board on all prop firms. And so what I would do is if I lose 1 or 2% in a single trade, which does happen because I want to speed up the process and try to get there as fast as I can, but there is that loss of 1 to 2%. And when that happens, my mind goes on a tilt, even though I lack the skill set to avoid that particular situation. It is essentially, but there is this subconscious that is triggered, and it just that's what happens. And so that's one part of the reasons. One reason why, for the past 2 years, I have failed these prop firm challenges. Second part is I refuse to use stop loss. I did not realize how important a stop loss is, because right now I can see that if I make 100 trades and one fails, and that one trade goes against me, moves like 3%, essentially that is triggering a uh, it's triggering there's another prop firm rule, uh, which is it apparently one you can only lose 2% on a single trade. It's a consistency rule. It's called the consistency rule, and I can break that with a single trade. And so when that happens, then I get on a tilt, and I forget about all those rules that are out there, and I want to revenge trade, and I want to get it back as soon as possible by going bigger, even though my last trade told me that at the current state of mind, I am not able to properly trade, and that is why I made that loss. But I increased the size in order to get it back with that same mindset. That's number two. That's stop loss. The third is the lack of edge. I realized, even though I've been studying Al Brooks for the past 2 years, what he talks about initially is like peanut uh, comic strip, like the teacher talking to the Peanuts gang, which is essentially uh, wah wah wah, right? Wah 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 wah. Essentially, that's how it sounds. It's because the way Al Brooks speaks is such a high level. It's difficult to understand unless I pave myself into that realm of understanding, which is essentially a moat with water surrounding it, and there's walls, and at the center of it, and at the top penthouse of the center area where he is kept, his knowledge is kept, it is difficult to move in that direction in order for me to understand the knowledge that he possesses. Even though he's laid it out in his program, I can see all his knowledge, and I've been looking at it for the past 2 years, almost 2 years, maybe a year and a half, I think, maybe a little over a year, I think. And so so in order to define that edge is to incorporate what he knows and then become conscious of his impact in the market. And the only way that I could have done that is for the past 2 years to blow all the prop firm challenges, more than 250 prop firm challenges, and $16,000, more than $16,000 of this dishwasher money to attain, and then look into it, forward test it, and then make that correlation of, when I see this is what the YouTube people are talking about, and this is what Al Brooks is talking about. And then when I trade it, I can see the results. And when I see that setup and I look for it, and I look at the consequences of that setup if I have taken it, and then when I see it, it moves in a direction where I thought, based on all the information that I have, and it moves in that direction, that is the aha moment. That is the aha moment. And then what that does is provides a euphoric feeling about that. So I lack that. So there are three things that caused a tremendous amount of anguish and self essentially being just being torn apart internally for the past 2 years involved in prop firm challenges, because it was that difficult. profit from challenges essentially is very clearly, it's clearly defined. It is on a two-stage, I'm purely talking about the two stages. Okay, so I prefer to perform the two-stage because it provides my understanding such that when I get to the point where I pass phase one and phase two and I get to the payout, that means that I've acquired the skill sets in order to be profitable at that moment. Until then, even if I do, apparently there's like instant funding kind of thing, but it costs maybe 4 to 5 times more. Okay, but what happens is that if I can't pass phase one or phase two, what chance do I have? It just costs 4 times more, and I have to keep doing it over and over again. Okay, so that's so that's the reality of it. So to recap, 3 things that caused me to waste 2 years of my profit from challenges. 1, didn't use stop loss. I was on tilt, but I had no idea that I was on tilt. And third, I had lacked the edge. People talk about it on YouTube, and everybody knows about it, but I had no idea. No idea, because I had no concept of day trading, and I had no idea what edge is. Okay, edge. I had no idea what that edge is. The edge is a specific instance where when I consistently apply the setups that I have, then it provides a known positive result. Whereupon, when I take that trade, then it is predictable based on a probability. That's it. So I lack those 3 things.